you associated your brand with the mission, it seems like.
Exactly. It's all about the mission. Like, it's about the impact. Like, I always talk about impact over income. It's about the impact. So I don't want to make $1 million. I want to touch 1 million people.
Do you then want people to love you the way that all the hoe girls love you? Because they come
the
at you.
hoe girls. Ooh.
Welcome to the Singles Mansion, first edition, first season.
Whoa!
But I think that's gonna stick with them.
That's crazy.
Just because you're talking loud,
I want to know, is it nothing or is it something?
No!
What's happening? No capping. We with AO, about to get a plate. Oh, pull up to the table. Let's go.
Yo, what's going on, fam? It's your boy Anthony O'Neal. Welcome back to the table. It's a new kind of situation because your boy actually decided to take the table on to the road. You know, we came out here to the beautiful city of Atlanta. I have a lot of friends out here who are doing a lot of major things. And instead of me asking for them to come up to Nashville, Tennessee, I just told my team, let's go down to Atlanta, get me a nice little table, get me some water. Hold on. And let's just have a conversation there. So today we are in the beautiful city of Atlanta. We'll be here for the rest of this month and also December. And so I'm excited about it. So listen, today I am really excited because while I was doing some research for today's show, I found out that most people during COVID last year turned to the internet to do their shopping. Of course, because we were not allowed to go out. You didn't feel safe going out there. So we were like, yo, you know what? Let's just shop online. Amazon made a lot of money, but so did some other people. Customers spent, check this out, over $861 billion online with U.S. retailers in 2020. And in the global retail e-commerce sales, okay, these are online shops, surged up to 27.6% during the year of 2020. So e-commerce, I asked my boy, I said, yo, I can officially say this is like online only, right? So online people, okay, are expected to keep growing. One of the fastest growing small types of business are online businesses. These are your influencers who are doing classes, who are doing courses, who are launching online boutique stores. These are influencers who are using their influence to sell particular products only online. This is the rising small type of small businesses. So people are making millions, and I mean this, millions of dollars, not just within 1 year. I have a guest today that made $1 million in a month. I know people here in Atlanta who made $1 million in one day just from online marketing and doing an online business. So I asked my friend, Corey Arvinger, Arvinger, not Corey Avenger. He's not an Avenger. Now he's a beast, but he ain't that strong yet. No, I'm just playing. So I asked my boy Corey to come by to the table today to have a conversation with us. Y'all, Corey is an e-commerce entrepreneur, a guru, and a media strategist with a knack for marketing and branding, okay? He is the co-founder and CEO of Support Black Colleges, the clothing brand, which, I mean, celebrities are wearing. I mean, it's all over the place. His sole mission, this is what I love. He took his passion, he took his mission, and he took a part of his story and turned it into a business online to uplift, to inspire, and to encourage Black people to attend HBCUs. He's a socialist. He's just killing the game. Y'all, can y'all help me welcome to the table my boy, Corey? What's up, brother? Come on through to the show, dog. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That boy. You,
Come on now.
You slick today, dog.
Well, I knew you was gonna wear the Gucci, so I had to come with something.
You got the Jordans.
You know
what I'm saying?
Slight cozy fit.
But see, I don't have my own brand that I can wear right now.
It's coming. You are the brand. You ain't gotta wear it.
Listen, man, I am a brand, but I need to make some money from my brand, you know, like you.
You get into it, please.
Yo, man, let's get straight into it.
Let's do it.
Because here at the table, man, we don't really like a lot of fluff. I'd like to start off the table by introducing you to my tribe, introducing you, like who is Corey at the core, before we get into, the $1 million brain that you have. So tell the people, who is Corey?
Yeah, man. Corey is just a guy that came from North Carolina. I'm from Greensboro, small city.
For real? I didn't know that, bro.
Yeah.
So I grew up in Fayetteville.
Oh, wow.
Fayetteville.
Fayetteville's finest.
Oh, that's why you the boy, dog. Okay. Yeah, no, we really family, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm from Greensboro, yeah.
All right.
Did you go to high school in Fayetteville?
I did. Went to Southview High School.
Okay, it's okay, cool. So, most people know like Laney or the school like that. But yeah.
Because, J. Cole went to Fayetteville.
Yeah.
He 71st.
71st. We used to play 71st in high school.
Yeah, and everyone wanted to play 71st because you didn't want to play Southview because we were the truth when it came to football.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well, I didn't know. I didn't get that
I know you didn't know because I never made it to the championship.
Yeah. I'm from Greensboro, man. A lot of people from Greensboro don't leave Greensboro.
True.
We tend to stay there forever. I mean, I can go home today and I can find certain people still.
Yeah.
But I grew up in a single parent home.
Okay.
And kind of coming up, I always realized like my mom was a teacher and then like would work another job at night. Wow. And I used to like hate seeing that. And I think that it really just built something in me to just be a provider and take care of family and friends and just in general. And so I began just having this like hustler mentality. My grandpa was an entrepreneur before I knew what an entrepreneur really was. He had his own store and he used to like help people around the neighborhood. So I took a lot of that from him.
Wow.
And overall, I'm just a fun-loving person.
Yeah.
I love giving back. I love sharing knowledge and engaging with people. Yeah. And I love sports. I'm a huge basketball fan. Being from North Carolina, you kind of gotta love basketball.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I just every day I just try to live life to the fullest. Like when people ask me about like what I do or who I am, I'm just trying to appreciate every single day that I'm here and make the most out of every single day, no matter what that is I'm doing.
Man, I love it. So grew up in a single family home. Mm-hmm. Would you say single family wealthy, single family humble beginnings, single family, or maybe somewhat in the middle?
Yeah, my mom did a real good job of not letting us see if we were doing great or bad.
Ooh.
So I didn't even, what's crazy? I told somebody this one time, they didn't believe me. I said, I didn't even realize I grew up in a single parent home until I was like in high school. Like I didn't even like, it didn't register. Yeah, like I knew my mom was just there, but I never was like, where's my dad at? I never like thought like that.
Because my mom was making it all happen.
We were good. Like I was comfortable. Me and my sister never like struggled, at least from what I could see.
Okay.
And then I started understanding, okay, well, she works 2 jobs. Okay, then I started, as I got older, but it hit me when I was like at a birthday party, like I was like 8th or 9th grade, and somebody was like, asked me about my dad, and I was like, I never thought about that. Wow. It was so. I told my mom when I got home, I'm like, nobody ever asked me that. I didn't even know how to answer it.
Yeah.
So we had a conversation, obviously, but I think I would say we were like middle class. Probably like lower middle class, if I had to guess.
Lower. Okay.
But we lived in an apartment most of my life until I got to high school. Then we bought a townhouse. And, from the outside, everything looked good. Me and my sister always worked. Yeah. And that was choice. I didn't want my mom to pay for my phone bill. I didn't want her to have to pay for, my basketball sneakers or whatever. So I always worked, and so did my sister. So, yeah.
Cool. So, when people look up, you and your business support Black colleges, clearly it's a huge success now. I mean, we see you have a partnership with the NBA for the NBA game. What's that, 2K?
Yeah, 2K and All-Star. Actually, two separate deals.
Two separate deals. Mm-hmm. Cool. We see celebrities wearing your stuff. So before we get into that, this multi-million-dollar business that you built, how old are you?
I'm 29.
And you're not single anymore, right?
Not anymore. Not technically. I'm technically
single, but you're not single.
Yeah, me and my mom had this conversation.
Yeah, I feel you.
I'm not single.
I feel you. Yeah, because mama say, well, you're single until you're married, baby.
Exactly.
But in this generation, now you single if you call me a woman. Okay. So, ladies, Black man, very successful, wealthy, built a business, but stay out his DM because he don't want you.
I don't want no problems.
No problems.
I want no smoke.
Okay, no smoke. Because I seen this lady. She looked like she will give him and you the smoke. So okay. So before we get into the business side of things, because you're going to teach us some things today. Where did the passion come when it comes to support Black colleges? Because I'm gonna be real with you. I have some people watching this right now who are white. Mm-hmm. Saying, "Oh, Black colleges. Why is everything gotta be about Black?" black. And I get that question asked all the time.
Yeah.
So I really want to break this down from an educational perspective.
Yeah, let's do
where did your passion and drive for supporting black colleges, HBCUs, come from?
Yeah. So for people who don't know, HBCUs were created when we couldn't go to the other schools. So it only was started because we couldn't go, not because we wanted to be different or stand out or whatever. It was because this was a white school, so we built our own institutions so that we could go to school and learn.
Yes, sir.
So that's just the most simple, basic way to say that.
Okay.
For me, my mom went to Howard, and I really didn't know what that meant.
Okay.
And one thing I love about my mom is she allowed me to make my own decisions all throughout my life. So she never pushed it on me. If it was meant for me, I would go. If not, I wouldn't go. And so I got into 2 or 3 schools, Carolina, Duke, and Howard. I didn't really apply to a lot of schools.
Wait. Carolina, Jordan,
Yeah, Michael Jordan.
Duke,
That's my favorite school. Duke
and Howard.
and Howard.
But you was in Greensboro and you skipped over A&T?
It was too close. Too close to home. I knew I wanted to get away. Duke and Carolina were about an hour away.
Absolutely. Up in the Raleigh-Durham area.
He was 15 minutes.
Everybody wants to go to A&T though.
The Aggie pride is
serious.
next level, and it was almost annoying. It almost turned me off. It's that prideful.
For real.
Yeah. Especially as a high school student who didn't know much. I'm like, why do they keep yelling Aggie pride and wearing blue and gold and all? It's a lot. It's a lot.
And Howard right now, got the mother of all mothers over there now, the dean of students.
We do. I mean, the alumni are just next level. That's a whole episode right there. But
That is. So what made you choose Howard over Duke, over Carolina?
Everybody always asks that. You know what's funny? So I did something called the smile test. And that's when you go on campus.
I did it too, bro.
Yeah. So you know about the smile test. You just go along.
You smile.
See how people respond to you.
Yeah.
At Duke, I didn't really get a response, and I
You
saw,
got a response,
Yeah.
but not the response that you
I
needed
got
to get.
a response, which most of the time was no response, or don't look me in my eyes, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And also, I didn't see many people that looked like me. Very few people that looked like me. And me going to a predominantly white high school, I graduated with a class of 88 kids. I went to a private school.
Okay.
And I was one of 5 black kids that graduated in my class.
Wow.
I didn't want that same experience. I knew that Duke would be similar. I really just applied because everybody else was applying at my school that, we're going to Duke. I can apply there too.
Okay.
And then, so I went to Howard as well. And it's crazy because I never actually stepped foot on Howard's campus before I got there.
Wow.
Never went. I saw it when I was younger,
Right.
but I didn't remember that.
Yeah.
So I really knew I just didn't want to go to Carolina and Duke, so I chose a third option.
I got you.
And so the first day I got on campus, it was crazy. I hadn't been to DC in a long time, and it was just so many black people.
Yes.
Music was blasting. My favorite hip hop songs was on. People moving bins, just jamming. Everybody wearing the same colors and chanting stuff. I'm like, where am I at? I felt like I was in a whole other world coming from Greensboro. You gotta remember, I don't see this often. So my mom always says, man, your eyes are wide open.
Wide open,
yeah,
bro.
So I'm moving in, and then we go to the yard for the first
Step
student
show?
pep rally and all
Okay.
that stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
step shows, talent shows. And I'm seeing all these beautiful black women. I'm like, man,
Yes, sir.
I'm like, man, you can leave now.
Right.
I'm good.
Good.
I can tell she's a little worried about
Right.
I'm good, I promise you.
Right.
So, the passion came from, I only could imagine how many students don't know that exist.
Okay.
How many high school kids don't know that HBCUs exist and then the magnitude of how they exist. We're not just there, we're excelling in all levels.
Yes.
And so, I was like, man, I have to find a way to spread awareness about HBCUs without it being here's a college fair, or here's this, the typical stuff that's quote unquote boring. So I'm like, I can do it through clothing. People love clothes. I know how to put some colors together. I'm okay at designing. And it all started with just a basic t-shirt that I wore that said support black colleges. Not even this logo. It was just said support
You
black
just
colleges.
support.
Yeah,
That's it.
literally just words. And I wish I could find the shirt. I need to figure out if I can find it, but it all started with that. And people were like, oh, where'd you get that shirt? And I'm like, oh, I made it. Oh, where'd you get that? And so, me, enough people ask, I'm like, oh, I'm about to make some more.
Exactly.
I'm about to go to the local print shop because back then I didn't know what I was doing, so I was paying $20 per shirt, which is completely idiotic.
Crazy.
But I didn't know, and it was around homecoming time where I really started the business, and the amount of people that asked and really wanted support was like, man, this is really needed, and people actually enjoy the brand. So that's when we got more into like the actual, this could be a business versus a hobby.
That's so good. That's so good. I've been following you for a while, and I know you didn't actually complete school.
Yeah.
Because you went through a little journey.
Yeah.
Real quickly, talk to us about that journey.
Yeah. So my sophomore year of school, so mind you, just so I can set the scene for you, I'm like vice president of School of Business.
Okay.
I started an organization on campus.
Yeah.
I'm like super involved.
Yeah.
I'm one of those students that knows all the staff. I'm the person that's best friends with the calf lady, the janitors, the police, because I understand the value of relationships.
Yeah.
And so I never paid for a meal plan. They always let me in for free. I never had to pay for events on campus. The cops always open the side door for me. Like, that's the kind of relationships I had.
Right.
So one day, I'm swiping my card to get into the cafeteria, and the cafeteria lady's like, your card didn't go through. And she's like, I'm gonna let you through regardless. I know you be in here every day. But she's like, your card didn't go through. Just go check it out in the A building when you're done. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I go to the A building and I'm like, I tried to swipe my card in the caf and it didn't work. So they're like, oh, let me pull up your account. They pulled up my account and my account had been dropped. And so Howard, they used to do this thing called purging, where like your account can get dropped without you knowing.
Absolutely.
And so I don't know whether I missed emails or physical mail that went to my home address. I don't know how that ball got dropped, but essentially I didn't get approved for some grants and loans that I thought I was going to get approved for, like that I should have gotten approved for, we qualified for. So I turned out, it was like a Pell Grant and something else. So just like that, like
you're done.
I was out of school, just like that. They gave me like 2 weeks to get out of my dorm. They were super they worked with me.
Yeah.
I was also the president of my dorm at the time, so they wasn't. I definitely stayed longer than I was supposed to.
Okay.
That was relationships completely. After that, I started staying with random friends in DC, and it just became something that was just too much for me. Like, I felt like I was a burden on people. I was sleeping on people's couches. I had to wait for people to get home before I can get it. Like, it was just a lot of it was a lot. So eventually I went back to North Carolina, and I set out my sophomore year of college, and I wasn't able to come back because I owed $14,000. And so, to me, when I first got home, I was extremely just depressed, upset, sad. I went from being a man on campus to literally just being out in a week. I didn't even know what to do. Like, what am I supposed to even do? And when you're younger, you think your life is over.
Yeah.
So I was kind of just panicking. But what I did realize was that I'm like, you know what? At the time, I had 4,000 followers on Twitter. That's when I was using Twitter a lot, and Facebook. My Facebook was pretty highly engaged.
Yeah.
And so I was like, you know what? If I could get everybody to give me $4, I can get back to school. That's how I thought about it. I was like, everybody's give me $4, I'll get back to school. And it was literally, that was the most simple thought. So I got online. I was like, how do I make a website? I went on YouTube, figured out how to collect money, because GoFundMe wasn't a thing at this time. Mm-hmm. I found this company called Fundraiser, and it was spelled like FNDRZR, something like that. So I used that. I embedded the code onto my website that I made off of God knows what platform I use. I don't even remember. And I made this video on my phone, and I just said, hey, my name's Corey Arvinger. If you could spend $4 on McDonald's, if you could spend $4 on Starbucks, you could spend $4 on education. That was my exact wording, and I ran with that and started this campaign. So I remember the first person who donated, her name was Maxine Chapman. I'll never forget, because it was a girl that went to my school, and I'm like, yo, somebody really gave me money for school. Somebody who might be struggling with tuition themselves gave me $4. And as soon as I got that money, I knew that I had to complete it to the end.
Wow.
And so it really motivated me to start going hard on the campaign.
Yeah.
And eventually the campaign got picked up by MTV. They wanted to do a online, just talk about it. That did well, so then they ended up inviting me to DC to film live, or to film not live, but film an episode on this thing they had called Random Acts of Kindness. Okay. Which I didn't know at the time that's what it was called, because I wasn't supposed to know. But they're like, yeah, we just want to tell your story some more. I got interviewed by Sway Calloway.
So Sway, that's what's up.
It was hella cool. We walked around campus, we talked and all of that. Towards the end of the interview, he's like, all right, we're going to go in this room. It's going to be the last part, and you'll go home. And then, we'll try to raise you some more money. Cool. I was blessed to even be there.
Right.
So I walk into the room and everybody's like, surprise. And I'm
Whoa,
like,
whoa, whoa.
and I told Mom, this is so funny. I told Mom the first thing I thought was that I want a car. like why I thought that? I have
You walked
no
into
idea.
a classroom on college thinking you want a car.
Yeah, seriously. I'm like, yo, what a car
in the world?
I don't know why. Like, I don't know why I thought that. But it's just me being a teenager. So I thought I wanted a car, I didn't. And then they're like, welcome back, Corey. And it's all my friends. And my mom was there who wasn't with me in D.C. I remember her dropping me off at the airport. All right, I'll see you in a few days. And literally saw me the next day filming. So they flew her out. I didn't know all of this. And then they had a check. It was a big check. And it said $12,000, right?
Wow.
So at this point, I had raised $8,000 myself.
Okay.
$8,000 in a few months. I was like, I'm doing pretty good.
Right.
They gave me 12, and then this company called Salt in MTV, who partnered with Howard, matched it for $12,000. So I ended up getting $24,000, and it brought my total to $32,000. So I ended up getting the money.
But you still didn't finish school?
Yep. So I ended up, and yeah, the story gets better. I ended up going back to school, right? So I paid my back balance off, obviously.
Okay.
And I paid, forward. And so Howard is like anywhere from $24,000 to $40,000 a year.
Yeah.
So
I know
that money wasn't going to last forever, which I knew. And so the lady who was over the admissions and students, I was like, yo, how do I make sure I don't get in this position again? Because I got the grades, like I'm doing well, like I'm involved. And she was like, I'll make sure you're never in this position again. I'll make sure you're never in it. We're going to take care of the finances. I'm like, cool, we're good to go. Y'all saw how much I did. I want to get back. I was willing to do it myself, but you all helped. Cool. The next year, which would have been my junior year, she actually ended up leaving the school. And that was my safety net for, my finances. And when it was time for my junior year, I paid all of that. It was time for me to go back for my senior year. I didn't have the money to go back to school. And so I was talking to people like, so-and-so said this. Right. I'm like, yo, I showed them the empty, like, this is what I did before. And they weren't really budgeting. Oh, we don't have to budget, da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, I'm not doing that again.
Yeah.
Because at this point, you're just basically telling me you don't want me here.
Yeah.
And you don't think that I'm a student that's valuable enough to, finish school on y'all's dime. Like, my grades are fine.
Right.
I started this, I did this, I do this, I do this. I can name you almost every staff person outside of this one building.
Wow.
And I was pulling on a lot of contacts, and they were trying to help. And I was getting little money here and there, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't $40,000, So I ended up just stopping and working. I was like, I'm gonna stack my bread, and I'll just come back when I get my own money. That's what I started doing. But because I started stacking my own money and found what I was good at, I was like, I can't go back. And so that's why I never finished school.
This is crazy, bro. I mean, so you go to an HBCU, you work your butt off to get through at least 3 years of school.
Yep.
You can't go back because you need to raise $40,000. And I have my thoughts on school. I think education is so important, but I think the cost of school, sometimes it's not worth the education.
Yeah, it's getting difficult.
It is.
It's getting difficult.
Especially when you have people like today making $1 million on the internet.
Yeah.
Why am I going to school?
With no education.
Yeah, with no education. Why am I going to school? Why am I paying you $100,000, $200,000 to get a 4-year degree to go make $60,000 a year? When I can go out here, bust my butt, learn a couple of things off of YouTube, get connected with people like Corey, and go make 6 figures in 1 month just from selling the course.
It's really crazy because I love education. I believe in education, but I believe that it has to be refined and changed in order to keep up with the times. Like, why isn't there a social media major? Why isn't there why is there not an e-commerce major? Why not? Because if you're going to teach what's going
relevant.
on.
Yeah.
Like a lot of that stuff we talk about, I'm in poli-sci talking about something that I don't even care about. Like, bro, I don't care about who started this and who did this because that doesn't make sense for what I'm trying to do. And so I always tell people, I think you should go to college for your first 1 semester or 1 year, get the experience, meet the friends, get the connections, and if you want to leave, then
bounce.
Have a plan. Right. But one thing that was brought to my attention is like, people have business professors that don't own businesses. And to me, it's crazy to be like, oh, I'm a business teacher, but I'm like, oh, so what's your business? And they're like, oh, I don't have a business. I'm just reading from the book and I'm teaching you what I. So that's one thing that bothered me about education is like, you could have somebody that's teaching me business but don't own a business or have never owned a business.
Owned a
like
business.
You've only worked for somebody. So how can you tell me how to run a business and you don't know what it's like to run a business? So I really would like to change some of the structures. And I think that there is a way to have education done the right way, but things have to be changed. And some people are so indoctrinated into old stuff that they're not willing to switch up how they do things.
Well, let's get it. Let's shift it up a gear. So you leave school, you start making all this money. Eventually, you go back to support Black colleges. Today, to this day, give us a little snapshot of the success you have today, and then let's rewind and talk about, okay, how can someone else get there?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, today, so I always say we're like working in about 10% of our total capacity, I think.
Okay.
There's so many things that we haven't done, but now with our new transition, we just moved out of our warehouse, so we're now in the fulfillment center. Which is going to allow me and Justin to only focus on marketing and branding, no shipping.
So for the people watching us, explain what is a fulfillment center?
Yeah, so at first we were doing everything in-house.
Okay.
So we get an order, we fold, bag, ship, make all that, and then ship out.
Yeah.
30 staff people, like it was a whole...
You had 30 staff?
Yeah.
And
There was a point in time we had 30 staff.
How old are you again?
I'm 29.
And you had 30 staff.
Yeah. Now, the reason why we don't have 30 staff anymore is because I'm not great at managing people.
Yo, at least you know your strengths and your
Oh,
weaknesses.
yeah. Everybody's my friend. I'm like, man,
Right.
you was late. All right, bro, just don't be late tomorrow.
Right.
I didn't want to be that person, you know what I'm saying? So my sister manages people. She's the warehouse manager, and she ain't like me. She on that.
Man.
So,
yeah.
But I'm not the best management of people. That's not what my talents lie.
That's real.
But self-awareness is extremely important. And because I'm self-aware, I know that. But so yeah, we did that. We have a fulfillment center, which is now somebody makes, ships, and does everything for us. So I don't have to manage anybody outside of my lead team, which is me, Justin, and my sister and my mom who runs our nonprofit. Wow. So now we have 4 to 5 people on our team directly.
Okay.
Now we have people outside of our team. We have our financial advisor. We have all those people, but they're not like support. They have other clients as well.
Right.
So up to date, I think the first year we really took off. So we technically started like 3 years ago. 2018 is technically when we started. We started in 2012 when I was in college.
Right.
But I didn't take it seriously until 2018.
Okay.
First year, I think we did like $1 million. And that was pretty crazy. Yeah. I remember me and Justin having a conversation of like, man, what if we could make $5,000 a month? I remember that conversation. Like, we were like dreaming to make $5,000 a month. Mind you, me and Justin were both working for Tyler Perry. So we both quit our job at Tyler Perry to do Support Black Colleges full time because we felt like we could blow it up. Wow. So we took a risk and a leap of faith. And obviously the results paid off year one. We did about $1 million. The next year, which was 2019, 2020, last year, we did about 4.8 million, something along that lines. And that was unreal.
Yeah.
So part of it was our Black Friday. Yeah. We did $1 million in 2 days.
In 2 days.
In 2 days.
I want you to put me on this camera. $2 million in 2 days.
No, 1 million. 1 million in 2 days.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. 1 million in 2 days.
Yeah, 1 million in 2 days. And
some people won't even make that in 15 years? Yeah. It's gonna take them 15 years to make $1 million. If they making $50,000, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. A year.
It was crazy because I told Justin I wanted to make $1 million. Yeah. And he was like, why $1 million? I was like, I just want to make $1 million. That was my goal. I didn't know why that number worked for me, but that's just what I wanted. Right. And the first day, so we started Black Friday on like Wednesday, we had did like 200,000. The next day we had done like 300,000. And on Black Friday, we had did like 400,000 or 500,000. And so that Saturday and Sunday, it kind of dropped off because I'm like, oh, we good. Like, whatever. On Cyber Monday, we did buy one, get one free hoodies. And that's when we like...
It just went crazy.
It went nuts. I'll never do that again, by the way.
You'll never do it again?
Never.
For Black Friday?
Well, now we have a fulfillment center, maybe. Because that worked. So we sold 34,000 items and it totaled to 15,000 orders.
So were y'all printing everything yourselves?
Everything.
You were doing everything?
Yeah. So just a quick lesson, not to get too far off of the success.
Let's go. Let's talk about it.
It's important because a lot of times we ask for the success and we ask for things, but we're not actually prepared for it, right? So, listen. So I'm like, I want $1 million, but I didn't understand the work that came with $1 million of money.
Right.
And so 34,000 items and 15,000 orders with even 30 people who are not all super efficient is a lot. We didn't end up shipping out all the orders until probably the 1st of February.
Oh, so you had some people upset.
Oh man. I thought we were gonna close. I thought it was gonna shut down.
Are you serious? Did you have refunds because you took so long?
Yeah, a lot of refunds. We didn't have more than $20,000 worth of refunds.
Okay.
But it was a lot of transparency. Because what I didn't tell you is the week before Black Friday, our warehouse actually flooded. So we lost about $20,000 to $30,000 worth of merchandise already.
Corey, you talking good.
I forgot about that. But
So what I hear you saying is, and I want people to hear this, I think everyone says, I got to make $1 million. I got to make $2 million. I want to be wealthy. I want to be rich. Do you have the systems in place to sustain what you're asking for?
Exactly.
And for me as a spiritual man, I always ask myself, well, if I haven't made $1 million yet, it's because God he already knows you're not prepared for that yet.
Exactly.
Because there's a lot of, to whom much is given, much is required.
No, for sure.
You're going to get $1 million worth of merchandise. You need to have the systems in place
exactly right.
to make that happen. And it sounds like you all had to really go over and beyond.
Man, we had to do triple the work because our systems weren't in place. And on top of that, I always feel like everything happens for a reason, right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
the week before, we were in another warehouse and it flooded. Me and Justin were in North Carolina doing this. I forgot why we were there. I think we were doing homecoming or something. I don't know what we were doing. And one of our people that went to the warehouse, I guess he had forgot something. He was like, yo, it's flooded in here. It was like, this is at nighttime. It had been raining in Atlanta a lot, but like not enough to flood. Like our warehouse got flooded. So me and Justin came back the next day and one thing we learned was don't put your merchandise on the floor, first of all.
Right.
We had a lot of regular boxes and they were all soaking wet at the bottom. So like I said, we lost about $20,000 worth of merchandise. But you know what? When it happened, I was like, well, one, we need a new warehouse because this is not going to work.
Yeah.
So we got a new warehouse like in between that week and the week of Black Friday. We moved our warehouses completely. Not only that, but I'm like, yo, I asked God for $1 million. I prayed for it. And I'm like, yo, we should do this. And something bad happened. So when that happened, I was like, I know we're about to make $1 million. I knew we were about to make $1 million because something happened. And I was like, he tested me and trying to see if I'm really about this life.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, I'm really about it. Like we got moved in. We've talked to our manufacturer, can you get us this stuff again? And this month, let's negotiate prices. I know this is not fair to y'all, but for us, we already lost the money, So we ended up getting an order of stuff. It obviously didn't come out by Black Friday, but it came not too long after.
Okay.
And we were able to think about some marketing strategies, how we're going to sell this, how we're going to do this. And it made us really lock in to prepare for the $1 million weekend. And so I think because that happened, we were able to, okay, cool, we really still about this, we want to do it. We were able to focus and figure out, okay, what do we need? What are the 3 or 4 things that we really need to focus on and leave all the other stuff away so that we can make this $1 million? So we made the $1 million. And then, like I said, the systems weren't in place on the back end. So it was a lot of like, all right, now how do we fulfill all these orders or like make people happy at least?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to like, okay, well, we don't have black, but would you like to do a navy blue? I don't have this. Would you like? And I'm like, all right, well, let me give you 2 extra hoodies on this. And then we were really doing a lot of that. And, as a black-owned business, unfortunately, when you're doing wrong, everybody want to talk about you.
Absolutely.
And so it was a lot of that. And I just I started having to go live more and show my face. And, hey, my name's Corey. I'm the CEO. And I really had to embrace what was going on. Like, look, this is the warehouse. This is what's going on. As you can see, there's 15 people in here literally packing orders all day. We had a day shift, a night shift. So long story short, we ended up getting out of that. But that was one thing. So we had the $1 million weekend. We've had a lot of celebrities, the baby, Little Baby, Gunna, Young Thug, you name it, Tisha Campbell, Eva Marcel, the Brat.
Yeah.
The amount of celebrities that support us and influencers is next level.
It's crazy.
I like to pride myself on being really good at influencer marketing.
Yeah.
Our first influencer was Tiana Taylor. I waited 4 hours for her at a club called the Howard Theater in DC that I threw parties at previously. I waited for her 4 hours outside her VIP to get her some merchandise. I got her merchandise at the end of the night, and it ended us making about $40,000 off of that one post that she posted. That was the first influencer we ever had, and that's when I was like,
So it wasn't off of her one post that she posted. It was off of your 4 hours worth of patience and just being diligent after your own vision and mission.
For sure. It was obviously she helped, but I always tell people, because influencer marketing is what I specialize in.
Yeah.
And I tell people that, everybody wants the celebrity, the glitz and the glam, but a lot of them don't want to do the work that comes before getting that person. Yeah. So first you have to have a good product. A lot of people's product is just not good.
Right.
Let's just call it what it is.
Yes.
And I tell a lot of these people who come to me for help, oh, I gave it to so-and-so, but they didn't post. I'm like, let me see your product. And I'm like, I know why they didn't post. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm going to use an example that I always give on my live, and people don't like this. But I keep it 100 just because that's what I have to do.
Yeah.
People think, I always tell my students this, every idea is not a business. Okay. Because people think, because something's a good idea, it might be a good idea, yes, but that doesn't need to be a clothing line. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, I always tell people, like, all right, think about the first time you put ketchup and mustard on a hot dog. And you're like, I like ketchup and I like mustard. And together, I'm like, that's pretty good. Yeah. So, but that doesn't need to be a business, right? Right. So you don't have to. So I'll give you an example of somebody. They'll take ketchup and they'll say contain mustard and put it on a sandwich or put it on a hot dog, and then they'll be like, I'm gonna start a clothing line, and it's gonna be called Custard. Ketchup and mustard. And I'm gonna do it because when you put two things together and it intertwines and it makes, that's how people think. That's how I've had students. Seriously, I'm like, I can't make this up. Oh man. And I'm like, bro, that is the dumbest thing ever. Oh man. That's the number one reason why influencers don't wear people's stuff. It's because their brand it's cool for you, but you don't need to sell this. Right? So I use that custard example because it's so dumb, but it relates to a lot of things that I've heard. Yeah. And so that's one reason. But two, people don't know how to interact and have conversation with the person once they do get the opportunity. Mm-hmm. So I've seen people, like, in the moment try to get some merch to, let's just say, Tiana Taylor, and they asking for pictures first. Are you here to get a picture or are you here to get the merch out? Right. I'm doing merch. I'm building. I'm talking about what I'm doing. I'm talking about what you're doing that relates to what I'm doing because I did my research already. If I'm talking to Tiana Taylor, I know she loves fashion. I know she loves music. I know she loves dance. I know she's a creative. Yeah. I know you're doing this with the creators. I know you're doing this in New York. And actually, we're doing something similar to that with the colleges. I'm making it tie in, and then I'm saying, this belongs to you. So influencer marketing is something that really drove our business to, from being just a regular clothing line to it support Black colleges that everybody wears. Yeah. And I've spent, if I had to put it in a time frame, I've probably spent over 300 to 400 hours waiting versus, 75 posts. If I had to guess. There's been many times, I remember one story, Meg Thee Stallion came to one theater out here to perform. Yeah. I waited outside her dressing room for 4 or 5 hours the night before Essence Fest. Mind you, my team's in the warehouse packing for Essence Fest because we leave the next day. And she ends up never coming to the dressing room. I found a way to sneak into the dressing room, relationships. I knew one of the guys at the door, which led me to her dressing room door. And I have pictures on my phone of literally me in her dressing room like this. I set it up. Ciroc was the sponsor. And I set my stuff up in between the Ciroc stuff because I knew that she would go to that area. Right. And I waited there and I ended up having to leave because it was just taking too long. It was 1 a.m. She still hadn't got there. Right. I was there since 7 or 8 o'clock. Wow. And so I ended up leaving. She ended up, they told me, she never came to the dressing room. She never got the stuff, but somebody else took the stuff, right? So I ended up waiting 5 hours, 6 hours for nothing. Somebody took the stuff and I never got my stuff to Meg Thee Stallion. So there's so many stories like that happen that nobody see. Yeah. But then they'll see me, I end up getting Lil Baby some stuff. Lil Baby, Gunna, G Herbo, and Young Thug, I got all in the same night. Yeah. And that was about 4 or 5 hour wait. Yeah. / finesse / maneuver / getting people drinks. I'm talking about I was. You putting in the work though. I was in there. I was really in there serving my way to success. Wow. And so it's just things like that happen. But I think it's extremely important having a good product, patience, and knowing how to really talk and communicate. Once you get that opportunity, then the rest is up to them. You can't force anybody to post unless you're paying them. And 99% of people that post for us, we don't pay.
Hey, Tribe, I need y'all to tag Meg Thee Stallion.
Come on now.
Tell her that Support Black Colleges was patiently waiting. And there's some merchandise with her name on it.
Yes, it is.
Tag her on this video. Tag her on Instagram. Tag her all over the place. because we got to support our black colleges. Man, that's crazy.
And she went to HBCU. She just graduated.
She just graduated.
Texas Southern.
Yeah, Texas
so
Southern.
it's only right.
I mean, she's an educated, beautiful,
educated
woman.
Come on now.
Shabba-ba-sita. Ha ha! Meg the style. No, I'm just playing. Yo, we just now tuned in, man. Welcome back to the table. It's your boy Anthony O'Neill, and today I'm joined by my boy. He is becoming a legend, especially on this online business space, and especially in the influencer marketing space. Corey, who is the co-owner of Support Black Colleges. Don't forget, you guys, before we get back into today's show, I want to remind you that, you know, as you're out here making money, as you're out here building your businesses, as you're out here doing your thing, don't forget, the key thing to really building wealth is creating margin. How do we create margin? We save. You got to save money. And so my partners over there at PrizePool have the #1 savings account in my personal opinion. I use them every single month. That's where I park my emergency fund. I'm actually about to move, and I'm actually saving up money to purchase new furniture, so I'm parking my money over there. But here's what I love about PrizePool is that they're going to give you 0.30%, which is like 6.5 times higher than the average savings account in America. It's FDIC insured, and check this out. This is why I love them. Because let's just say, for an example, you put $10,000 into the savings account. Well, not only are they going to give you 0.30%, but they're going to give you 10,000 tickets to go towards a grand prize that they pull every single month for like $10,000 or $15,000. Or every week they're giving out $100, $200. Like, you can walk away with some extra cash and never lose your actual savings account. So I want you to go check them out. Click the link in the show description. Check it out. Try it out. Put $500 over there. You may win like $50 just for being a part of PrizePool. But I want to get back to today's show, and I want to dive in because we have this guy who has built an amazing business that I love, that I support. And I want to now go into some deep dive things, okay? Because you got inspired. Now let's get to the practical. You said something, Corey, and you was like, hey, you got to have a game plan. You know, you got to really be strategic about what you're doing. Let's talk about the e-commerce business. Why is it popping right now? Like, why is everyone jumping online to start a course, to do an online business boutique, to do something online? Why is that so hot right now?
Yeah, I think it's hot because you can reach millions of people just from your cell phone. You don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah.
You don't have to speak at a conference of 4,000. I can get on live and see 4,000 people.
Come on.
You know, I think it's just so easy to be accessed through social.
Yeah.
And things like TikTok and Instagram, you can put one post up and it can literally change your life.
Absolutely.
So I think that people have seen that and like, well, how can I make money and monetize off of the people that I reach?
Okay.
And so I think that's just why. And then with COVID, obviously, you couldn't shop in person.
Yep.
Like, you had to shop online. And it's so funny because I didn't know how our business would be affected by COVID. I had no clue. I'm like, I mean, you don't need our clothes.
Yeah.
Honestly, if we're being honest, you don't need them. So, you know, it was funny that we had the biggest year ever because of COVID. I mean, literally, we just did what we do always, which is put out social content.
Yeah.
And a lot of times for us, we don't actually sell our clothes on our page. We only just inform and give information to our people. So like, we talk about HBCU news. We talk about, oh, this school just got $1 million. We talk about this is happening in the HBCU space, and we just educate. So where you have to follow us to get information, and then you might slide in a post about our clothes.
Yeah.
It's like, that's secondary to like us being an information hub.
Yeah.
So people always ask about our company. I say, well, we're really a media company who sells clothes. Because all we do is put out media. We post 4 times a day.
So you're informing and educating, which is kind of like bringing them in.
Yep.
And then when they come in, hey, check out this.
We got clothes. Look, like, you love our platform. You love what we stand for. We give money back to our schools. We give scholarships, and we just happen to have a few shirts if you like them.
You associated your brand with the mission, it seems like.
Exactly. It's all about the mission. Like, it's about the impact. Like, I always talk about impact over income. It's about the impact. So I don't want to make $1 million. I want to touch 1 million people. Like, that.
Say that again, bro. Say that again.
I don't want to make $1 million. I want to impact 1 million people.
That will eventually make you $1 million.
Not easily. That makes you way more than $1 million. If I could impact 1 million people,
come on, man.
Our average order value is $75. So imagine impacting a
A
million
million people.
versus just trying to get $1 million. So we focus on the impact, and then everything else we let it do for ourselves. Like it'll do what it has to do. So that's what we really been focused on, and providing information first and selling later.
You know, it's so funny, Corey. You said that you focus on impacting 1 million people rather than focusing on making $1 million. And my thing is, I want to be impactful and influential, and allow the impact and the influence to generate income.
Exactly.
For my business to pay my team and to pay my family and to build wealth. And that wasn't always the case for me. I chased money. And I noticed when I chased money, I found myself in a lot more trouble. Because I would lie to get the money. I would mislead to get the money. I would overpromise to get the money. And then now in this season that I'm in now, it's like, man, just help people. Help people get out of debt. Help people start businesses. Help people just really share their message. You know, and then in that process, we will be blessed in the back end.
Every time. As I got into like this teaching and coaching space, I hate to say I'm a coach or I teach because I really.
But you should though. You got info.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just giving out the info that nobody told me. Honestly.
Right.
Because coming up in my business, there were so many things I didn't know, and we lost hundreds of thousands of dollars on. So I'm like, if I could save this company from not losing that money, then we'll have a lot of more entrepreneurs who look like me. And so I just think that is important to really be about what you say you're about. And so I said, my brand can't be called Support by Colleges. I'm not giving no money to the colleges. My brand can't be called Support by Colleges. I'm not actually in person. I'm not doing pop-ups. I'm not tapped in with the coach. Like, I have to actually live what I say I'm about. And so when we really focused on that, everything else kind of fell into place. And when COVID hit, we were like, okay, cool. The brand might not be necessary, but then like a little while later, George Floyd had passed away, got killed. I'm not gonna say by the way, he got killed. And we made a shirt called Support Black Lives. And same logo, it just said Support Black, and then it said Lives, and this was a brown color tone.
Breakfast Club, didn't she have one on?
She just had a Support Black Vegan shirt on.
Yes.
This is another collab we did.
That's another collab.
Yeah, so I'll talk about that one.
Okay.
But Support Black Lives, so George Floyd got killed. That same day, I'm like, yo, we got to do something. I'm like, I don't know what we have to do, but we got to do something. So me and Justin and Tierra talked about it, and we're like, yo, let's put out a shirt, and let's change our logo to say Support Black Lives. And on the back, we had a quote by Desmond Tutu. And it was one of those things where, see, a lot of people think you need a lot of money to start a brand or to put out product. We had the money, but we didn't have any product in hand. So I went on, there's a website, what's the website called? Placeit.net.
Okay.
Placeit.net, you can get high quality mock-ups. And so we put the logo on the shirt, we put the quote on the back, and we put it live on our site. Next day, made $100,000 on one shirt and didn't have any product. Literally, it was like, look, this is what's going on in the world. We're doing this, and we're going to give part of the funds to families that suffer from police brutality. So we put a mission behind it, and we were the first to act on supporting the cause. And that shirt made us literally $100,000 in less than 24 hours.
Less than 24 hours.
Yeah.
All right, so before we end the show, someone watching right now, and they're like, all right, cool. I'm inspired. I even got some information. What are the first 3 things that this person watching us right now, they have an idea, but in your opinion, this is a 25-year-old, just graduated from college, sitting with about $100,000 of student loan debt, but they have something up here in their head, and they're like, yo, I got something up here. What is you can't give them everything.
Right.
What are the first 3 things they need to be doing right now to start generating, to start heading down the path that you're going?
The first thing I would say is understanding your why. Like, a lot of people are just doing things to make money, and that's not good enough. If you're like having a brand or a business just to make money, it's not good enough. Like, money is the motive, but it shouldn't be the motivation. So your motive could be to make money, but your motivation for doing it shouldn't be that. So understanding your why. So the why I do Support by Colleges is so that I can educate as many people as possible on Black colleges. I didn't want to be the person that could have missed out on something that literally changed my life because of lack of information. So that's my why. So your why has to be strong enough for you to carry it through and see it through and not quit when it gets hard and not forget about where you came from when it gets really good. So first is understanding your why. Secondly, developing a product that the masses want. Right? And when I say the masses, I mean the masses within your niche, because you should niche down. So you should try to appeal to as many people, but in a target demographic. Wow. So mine is obviously HBCU people.
Right.
But because it's called Support Black Colleges, you don't have to go to a HBCU to support us. So people are like, oh, I didn't go to HBCU. Can I wear it? I'm like, well, do you support it?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is for you.
Yeah.
But I'm a niche brand, but I appeal to the masses.
Yeah.
That's like extremely key to being successful. And the third thing I would say is have a plan that you are not afraid to go for with a lot of risk, right? So what I mean by that is a lot of people are playing it safe and then wonder why their business is not growing. Like you're being very safe. Oh, okay, well, let me just buy 5 shirts and now I'll sell 5, and now I try 10. Like, but then what happens is like, what if somebody needs 20 shirts now and you only made 5 because you being scary? Like, take a lot of risk, calculate a risk now. Don't just go out doing wild stuff.
Right.
Calculate a risk. So you do a pre-sale launch, and I'm huge for pre-sale. Do a pre-sale where you do a high quality mock-up.
Yep.
You put it on a person via Photoshop, and then you put out content as if people are actually wearing it, and then you drive traffic to that content of people wearing it.
Yes.
Maybe you get one influencer, you pay one micro or whatever influencer to actually wear it, and then you drive the people to the website and collect data and get sales.
Yeah.
So I would say between finding your why and understanding like why you're actually doing something.
Yeah.
I would say appeal to the masses, but within a niche, target demographic, and then also just take highly calculated risk. Take a lot of risk. If you do those things, I think that you could have a successful brand.
My mentor, actually here in Atlanta, Pastor Darius Daniels, in his
he wore some of our stuff.
Yeah, he does. He really does. Solid guy. He says, if your why doesn't make you cry, then the price of commitment will make you cry. So it's important to really dive deep into your why. The why can't be, I want to make $1 million.
It can't be.
It's not going to make you cry.
Can't be.
Everyone asks me, Anthony, why do you do what you do? Why do you promote no debt, financial freedom, ownership? If I really started talking about that why right now, I would cry.
Yeah.
And that why keeps me going. When everyone tells me, well, you got to have a credit card. Well, cool, that's what you want. But I want to teach a different route. And so my why fuels me. So I thank you so much for saying that.
Yeah, for sure.
Then the third thing is so true that, don't allow your comfort zone to become your kill zone.
Yeah, it will be.
Because it will. So if you're only saying, well, I'm going to do what's comfortable, 5 shirts, because I have that money. Well, you need to stretch yourself. Calculate it though.
Yeah.
Don't go out there and do something that there's no way it can happen.
Yeah.
But stretch yourself to the point where, if I bust my butt, I know I can get to 100, but I'm gonna need God to give me 120.
Exactly.
And my philosophy is I'm gonna pray like it all depends on him, but I'm gonna work like it all depends on me.
That's exactly what you gotta do.
And the faith part is, God, I'm gonna do me, but God, you gotta come through.
That's exactly what it is, because what happens is when you get to the point of desperation, you become way more creative.
Yeah.
When you have if I don't sell these last 5 shirts, I can't pay my rent. Oh, you're gonna sell them 5 shirts.
Absolutely.
And then you're gonna realize that should be a norm, not something that you just maybe hope for. This is the norm. I can sell 100 shirts.
Yeah.
But because I've only been printing 5, my thought process is, once I sell 5, I'm successful.
Yeah.
But really, you had 100 shirts in you, but you didn't give yourself a chance to meet that because you weren't taking any risk. So I think that's definitely important.
Man, last question, and then I'll let you go, man. And then I'm gonna ask you some more questions just for the Patreon people. If y'all wanna, get these, I'm gonna ask him, what am I gonna ask you in there, bro? I'm gonna ask you, how do you make your product stand out? The pitfalls of building a brand, how to avoid them, and watch this, how to get celebrities to use your product. So if you want to get those little questions, you might want to go join my Patreon crew because he's going to answer those just over there. But real quick, for my YouTube family and for the podcast family, social media is a very powerful tool.
Yes, it is.
And bro, you have Support Black Colleges social media channel has gone viral. How do we do that as influencers and as people? How do we take our products and really utilize social media the correct way to build the business?
There's a few ways to do it. I'll give you just a few quick ones.
Okay.
One, we post 4 times a day.
Okay.
So we post 9 a.m., 1 p.m., 5 p.m., and 9 p.m.
You got a strategic plan.
Every single day.
Every single day. Saturdays and Sundays.
Every day. Doesn't matter. My team is working every single day.
Okay.
I would say that 85% of that content is user-generated content. It's content we don't make ourselves.
Oh.
at about 85%, which means like if there's a trend that's trending currently, we'll just put the trend on our page and then we'll use it for our HBCU community. So for instance, there was a time where people were doing the "She's a runner, she's a track star" that song, and people just running and just doing stupid stuff. That was trending.
Yeah.
So what we did was we say, We'll put the same video that's trending up, and then the caption will be something like "How you run to the financial aid building when your refund check hits."
Yeah.
Something like that. But it's their content. We're just repurposing it to fit our audience. That's how we were able to grow so much. We'll have videos like that do 500,000 views.
Wow.
And it's like, I didn't do anything but add text to the top of it. That's it. But that eventually turns into people who like, oh, let me look at the rest of their videos. And then they see everything else is trending. And they see that, oh, I didn't know this. Oh, I didn't know this person went to HBC. And now we have to be a part of our community. So we're posting a lot, but we're posting other people's stuff. And then people are like, well, won't people get mad that you're using their videos? Your video got 500,000 views, which means you probably got some followers.
Absolutely.
You got some attention that you wanted. That was the purpose of you doing it. When we tag you, it's not like we don't tag the person.
Right.
And so that makes people do things in our shirts.
Yeah.
So a lot of people do these trending things in our clothes without us even having to.
Facts.
We don't send them the clothes. They are doing it willingly because they want to get posted.
Right.
So that's one way to do it. And then I would also say you have to be interactive with your audience.
That's so true.
So we're like in the comments saying, oh yeah, that's dope. Oh, this is funny. Oh, you silly for that. Like stuff like that. We'll pin some comments. And then on top of that, like when we're about to release product, we'll be like, all right, guys, we're going to either release A or B. Which one should we release? And in my head, I know which one I want to do, but I want them to feel like they're part of that process. And then when the voting is over, most of the time, they choose what I wanted anyways. And I'll say, all right, so 85% of you said, let's choose A, and we're running with A. Now they feel like I helped them choose this product. I got to buy it. I was the one that said I wanted to do it. And so those are a few tips to win on social media. Just keep everybody engaged, user-generated content, and then post often. Yeah. Like people are like, I'm posting one a day, once a week. You do realize that while you're posting once a day, people like the Shade Room are posting 12 times a day, and people are seeing them. Every time you open your phone, you see them. Boom, boom, boom. And when I'm always in your mind, that means that I have a better chance of you buying from me because I'm just always there.
Listen, y'all, I mean, I can't give you all this stuff for free. You know what I'm saying? You know, this guy is a legend. He is a young guy who has built a multi-million-dollar business. I have the receipts. I've seen the receipts. The man he's a general in the space. So I would encourage you all, number one, follow him. Follow Support Black Colleges. Go get the gear. It doesn't matter if you're white, Hispanic, or Black. If you support African Americans and HBCUs, if you want to see us be successful, our kids be successful, your kids' friends or some of your friends be successful, go over to Support Black Colleges, buy it, rock it, support it. That's number 2 or 3. I forgot what number I was on. But then also, Corey, where can they find out more information about you? Yeah. Do you have a course that you're, teaching how to start e-commerce business? Do you have a book? What's some of that information? Yeah, so they can find me. My social media is just my name, Corey Arvinger. Okay. It was Mr. Arvinger, but somebody told me something really funny. They said if I changed my profile picture, they wouldn't be able to find my page. Yeah. Which is, I was like, I'm just gonna make it my name. So it's just Corey Arvinger. And I did write a book last year, my birthday. I released it on my birthday. Okay. I get these questions every day. How to do this, how to do this, how to do this. So I was like, I'm just gonna package all the information, put it into a book, and it's gonna walk you from step A to Z on how to start an e-commerce brand and scale it to 6 figures. So it's called The 29 Laws to a 7-Figure E-commerce Business. I dropped it on my 29th birthday. There you go. And it just gives you, it's like a 95-page ebook. Yep. Very little pictures. A lot of information. You're gonna have to really dig in. So you can find it on my website, CoreyArvinger.com. All right. Yo, I'm gonna link it in the show description. I'm gonna link the book. Get the book, y'all. Go support the book. And I'm telling you right now, it will bless you tremendously. Yo, it's been a great day here at the table in the beautiful city of Atlanta. It's a different look, but I mean, the content, the vibe is still the same. And we'll be right back next week. See y'all next week. Peace out. Hey,